Islam. We're going back again to the proclamations of Noble Drew Ali. Things that Noble Drew Ali said that nobody doesn't want to tell you about, because if you get this information, then you'll be able to fix the problems that's wrong in these so-called temples that are trying to sell the Prophet and own the Prophet and his literature and what he brought to the people. Members in the temple sat and watched as a dirty Moor, full of rage, went after the Holy Prophet with a knife. The Moors just looked and would not protect their leader. After avoiding the assailants' aggressions, the Holy Prophet turned, faced him suddenly, and as quick as a thought, cast out the spirit of anger from the Moor. The would-be assassin became meek as a lamb and apologized for his wrongdoing. The Prophet said, "I know you did not know, and I forgive you, son." After the event, the Holy Prophet told the Moors, "I have got a mind to leave you." Then the Moors got down on their knees and begged the Holy Prophet not to leave them. About that time, a man suddenly appeared between the members and the Holy Prophet. He was dressed in Turkish garb, and by the mysterious way he came, he had to be an angel. He never looked at Drew Ali, but told the Moors, "If you harm a hair off his head, we will come and destroy you all." The Moors have yet to learn how to protect their Prophet on earth as he is in heaven. How come Moors aren't protecting the Prophet still today? 2010, Moors are still playing these childish own the Prophet games when you're not even protecting the Prophet. Why put up a front that you're for the Prophet if you're not for the Prophet? The only reason in my common sense that you would do that is to deceive people. And if you're about deceiving people, you're obviously not about the Prophet and the movement. You're about your own selfish gain, wearing a fez in your picture on Facebook, but you're not on the street in your fez. Like, we're in a public library right now. You know how many people are just standing in the aisles, staring at us, wondering who these guys are? Like, who are these people sitting in here with this headwear on? Who are these guys? There's people in all these aisles right now, looking. There's people behind me right now, that's been behind me, just sitting there looking. But they're listening though. Because we have not did what the Prophet said to do, which is be in the public, which is make ourselves known that the Moors have returned. Everybody knows who the Moors are. Nobody is going to deny that they know what a Moor is. Only ignorant black people, Negroes and colored people are going to say they don't know what a Moor is. Everybody knows what a Moor is. We need to get our act together as Moors that are active. And I'm not talking about the Moors who have been active. You already have your act together. Islam Moors keep doing the great work that you're doing in upholding the Prophet and the movement. But the passive Moors who are in the temple, who seem to be questioning, why certain things are happening, and, for example, some Moor on Facebook had a T-shirt on, messaged the Moor, that's a good T-shirt you got, let me get some of those T-shirts so we could give it to the Moors in our territory. All right, let me ask my Grand Sheikh. Ask your Grand Sheikh. And I still haven't heard from the Moor yet. But the Moor said that he has to ask his Grand Sheikh if he can sell T-shirts with the Prophet's picture on it to some other Moors who have turbans and fezzes. That's not right. Why is that not right? Because it shows the passivity of the people who belong to the temple. You're going to ask your Grand Sheikh to sell a T-shirt. I didn't even want the T-shirt for free. I was willing to buy the T-shirt. And the Moor said he has to go ask his Grand Sheikh. That's passivity. That's what passive Moors means. Moors who don't take initiative. Moors who sit down on this information and think that the Moor Science Temple is a church or a synagogue or a mosque, and Prophet is the Godhead of the temple. That's not what this is about, and that the Grand Sheikh is a sermon. The Grand Sheikh is a preacher. The Grand Sheikh is a imam or a rabbi. Yeah, we have work to do, because the Prophet said himself that it's going to take you more than 50 years to find out what I brought you, and then 50 years I'm gone, you wouldn't even know that I was here. I was one of those Moors that when I found out about Noble Drew Ali and what he brought, my first question is, how come I never heard about this before? Like, why didn't I hear about Noble Drew Ali when I found out about Marcus Garvey, Haile Selassie, Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver? How come Noble Drew Ali's name didn't come up? He was around the same time as those people, right? This is a message for people like Sadiq and certain Moors on Facebook who like to pretend that they're for the Prophet when they're not really for the Prophet. This is what Islam does. This is what the Prophet taught us. Those that were with me 2,000 years ago are with me today. And those that were against me 2,000 years ago are against me today. Those who were with me 2,000 years ago are with me today. And those that are against me 2,000 years ago are against me today. Again, we're going through all this information so people can clearly see the perspective that Noble Drew Ali was talking about. I'm not talking from a Grand Sheikh perspective. I'm not talking from a Supreme Grand Sheikh perspective, a National Grand Sheikh, a National Grand Chairman. All those titles don't mean nothing. If we get a dog out there and we bring him in here and nationalize him and put Grand Sheikh on him, I don't think people out there are going to be following the dog around talking about roof, 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 because the dog is Grand Sheikh. Because we have more common sense than that. So why are we going to sit around here and be debating amongst each other when Prophet already told us what to do? He already outlined everything that we're supposed to do. He gave us everything that it takes to save a nation. He told us to save ourselves. He told us that Allah alone guides us the destiny of this movement. He told us so many things, but we let it go over our head because we seem to forget that he's a prophet. If he's a prophet, that means he's a seer, he's a warlock, he's a witch doctor, he's a soothsayer, and he's divinely sent by the great God, whatever you want to call it, of the universe, of creation, in order to save the people from their sinful ways. When we start getting to Supreme Grand Sheikh and Grand Sheikh and, well, how come he's calling himself National Grand Sheikh? Because Grand Sheikh is empowered to make law and enforce law. And if he wants to call himself National Grand Sheikh, he has every right to call himself National Grand Sheikh. Because he's the head of the temple. If sister wants to be a sheikess and have a temple, she can get sisters to wear temples, to wear fezzes in the temple if she wants to. Because she's empowered to make law and enforce law. She's in power. She's in power to make law and enforce law if she's the head of a temple. Now, again, the Prophet set everything up already. There's nothing that we have to do but go out there and do what the Prophet said, really and truly. There's nothing else that we have to do. All we have to do is go out there and do what the Prophet said to do. Forget about debating on Facebook. You know what I mean? Forget about Well, erase me from my page because you're not with the prophet. Whatever. How about you erase me from your page? Why am I gonna erase you when I don't have no problem with you? You're the one that has the problem. So if you have a problem, deal with it. And if you don't want to deal with it, then there's gonna be lots more of these coming. Because I'm not even gonna be dealing with you Moors, you dirty, fake, unloyal, unfaithful semblance of Moors by leaving you messages anymore. Either I'm gonna do a song about you, or we're gonna get the webcam and we're just gonna put up posts about you and talk about your ignorance. Because it seems that many Moors who have fezzes don't want to humble themselves. I'm not Grand Sheep because I wanted to be Grand Sheep. I'm Grand Sheep because, it got thrown at me by other Moors who saw my sincerity. Who, when I told them that, yeah, I studied Phil Valentine and metaphysics and Bobby Hemmett, they were like, oh, damn, you need to be a Grand Sheep. Because that's the prerequisite. The prerequisite of being a head of a temple is knowing yourself. Knowing your lower self and knowing your higher self. Prophet never said you have to master it. He said know what it is. Know what your lower self and your higher self is. Lower self breeds lewdness, everything that harms, jealousy. A lot of Moors out there want to say that they got their fez on and think that they are what it is. When you're front. Your position is to go uplift fallen humanity, not bicker with other Moors who already have everything. We already have everything. Or you arguing with me? How about you go start a class and teach some people? How about you go sit at the bus stop and give out flyers to every young person that passes you about the Prophet? And I know for a fact that many of you Moors are not active. I know that for a fact. And I only know that because I was brought in by active Moors. So I have a certain degree of knowledge with regard to the Moorish movement. I'm a student of Elahi Pleasant Bay. That's not just somebody that I know. I'm not just a divine minister of the Moorish American national government for Ontario Territory just because I want to be that. Right? I'm that because of my sincerity. I'm that because elder Moors could see your light without you even having to say anything out of your mouth. It's as easy as that. I give honors to all the divine ministers in the Moorish American national government that's doing the work that has to be done with Brother Elahi Pleasant Bay. All of you Moors get honors from the Canaanland Moors. How many of you Moors sent Sabir Bey money in order to help him in his missionary work that he's doing going around the place? But y'all want to burn his DVDs and make $10 off every DVD without even honoring the brother and just sending him some money so he could do the work that he's doing for free. How many of you Moors sent Taj some money? How many of you Moors support anything that has to do with other Moors? But you want to burn their CDs and their DVDs and make money.